This is what I want to talk about. All right, so this is a part of the last night's debate that I think a lot of people did not really talk about. This was at the end of the debate where the last question, Lester Holt asked them, if you lose, are you going to support the other candidate? Are you going to, basically, the underlying question is, are you going to continue with our tradition of peaceful transitions of power? And, Donald Trump is, well, here's Donald Trump's response. Let's take a listen. Actually, let's listen to both of them because it is worthwhile listening to both.
Question to you tonight: are you willing to accept the outcome as the will of the voters, Secretary Clinton?
Well, I support our democracy, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I certainly will support the outcome of this election. And I know Donald's trying very hard to plant doubts about it, but I hope the people out there understand this election's really up to you. It's not about us so much as it is about you and your families and the kind of country and future you want. So I sure hope you will get out and vote as though your future depended on it, because I think it does.
Mr. Trump, very quickly, the same question. Will you accept the outcome as the will of the voters?
Watch this.
I want to make America great again. We are a nation that is seriously troubled. We're losing our jobs. People are pouring into our country. The other day, we were deporting 800 people. And perhaps they passed the wrong button, they pressed the wrong button, or perhaps, worse than that, it was corruption. We were, for good reason, ended up becoming citizens. Ended up becoming 800, and now it turned.
All right. The heck is going on with the video?
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us. All right. Well,
I'm going to be able to do it. I don't believe Hillary will. The answer is, if she wins, I will absolutely support her.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute.
That is going to do it for us.
Okay.
That concludes.
All right. There you go. All right. So it took him forever to get around to this point. And I don't know what happened to my video cut there, but the video cut was pretty horrible, but the rest of them are better. So it took him forever to finally get to the point to say, yes, I will support the candidate. But before he did that, I mean, he just over and over again stuck to his talking point of he's got to make America great again. He did not want to say that, yes, he would support the candidate, the winner. And that, to me, is really a signal of it's a dangerous signal. Now, he said it at the end, so I'm going to give him credit for saying it at the end. And to be honest with you, I probably missed him saying it at the very end. But out of the 2 minutes that he had to answer the question, the last two seconds is where he decided to say, OK, I'll support the candidate. But the truth of the matter is he did not want to say that, and he barely got that out. But that's one of the most important things in this entire election is are we going to burn this down or not? That's really what it's coming to. Or do you want to burn the whole thing down? And Donald Trump's disposition towards that was pandering to his base that wants to burn this whole thing down if they don't get their way. And so I wasn't surprised to see Donald Trump prevaricating and just trying to get his way around having to answer whether or not he would support the candidate or the winner of the election, instead of just coming out and saying, yes, I would. I mean, I want you to think about this scenario. Think about 2000, the year 2000. If you were old enough, you could remember how contested that was and how confusing it was and how contentious 2000 was, all the way to the point of the Supreme Court. Al Gore could have ripped America apart, and there would have been a lot of people, Democrats, progressives, and liberals, who would have been right there alongside him, ready to see it torn apart because we were robbed and we felt like we were robbed. And Donald Trump is already setting up, no matter what happens, he is setting up every step of the way that if he doesn't win, it's because he was robbed or it's because someone set him up, and this kind of mentality being seeded before, the early voting just started yesterday. This type of mentality being seeded before the election even we're in September. We're like 6 weeks out from the election. And he's been doing this all along, really feeds into his base who's ready to just burn this whole thing down. So, I mean, I really would like to see how this plays out in terms of, will he actually support Hillary Clinton if he loses? And will he concede? Because it is that concession that actually signifies that peaceful transfer of power from one politician to the next, from one party in power to the next. And without that, you really do have a situation where we could have a, not a violent insurrection, but an insurrection, to say the least, where you don't have a peaceful transition of power. And, it all goes back down to, what do you really want out of this? Do you want to see this whole thing burn down? Or do you want to have enough stability to see a continuous process moving forward? And when I say continuous process, I mean a continuous handoff of political power, because you're going to want power handed off to you, or you're going to be willing to hand off power to someone else when you lose. So that was the first thing that that sent off a flag last night.